In 1998, after selling over 10 million copies of their debut album, the members of the world-famous boy band NSYNC sat down to receive their first major paycheck. Band member Lance Bass opened his envelope, expecting to see millions. Instead, the check was for a shocking $10,000. That was less than minimum wage for years of grueling, non-stop work. Where had all the money gone? But the exploitation of these teenage pop stars was just the tip of a massive, dark iceberg. Behind the glitter, the screaming fans, and the chart-topping hits lay a devastating 20-year Ponzi scheme that stole up to $500 million from unsuspecting retirees, churches, and banks. This is the story of how the ultimate pop music puppet master used a shiny boy band empire to fund a massive financial illusion and the tragic trail of ruin he left behind. To the public in the late 1990s, Lou Pearlman was a creative genius. He was the mastermind who manufactured the soundtrack of a generation, launching both the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Young artists and their families trusted him completely, affectionately calling him Big Poppa. He cultivated a warm, protective father figure image. But behind this friendly exterior was one of the longest-running financial frauds in American history. Lou Pearlman was not just a music manager, he was a master illusionist. To understand how he did it, imagine a luxury airline company. It has glossy brochures, impressive financial statements, and a fleet of private jets ready for charter. You buy a ticket, or even invest your life savings into the company, believing it is a gold mine. But in reality, the airline does not own a single plane. The office is nothing but a mailbox, and the entire business exists only on paper. That was the core of Lou's world. And as his pop music empire grew, it became the perfect camouflage to lure in everyday people. Lou Pearlman's history of deception started long before he ever heard a boy band sing. In the 1980s, he began his fraudulent journey in the aviation industry, launching a blimp leasing business called Airship International, which he took public in 1985. There was a wild, dark rumor surrounding his early days. Pearlman allegedly bankrolled one of his early blimp ventures by insuring a substandard blimp for $3 million, knowing full well it would crash. Whether by luck or design, Lou learned early on that in business, perception is far more valuable than reality. In the early 1990s, Pearlman watched the massive success of the boy band New Kids on the Block, realized where the real money was. In 1992, he formed Transcontinental Records and created the Backstreet Boys. By 1995, he repeated the formula with NSYNC. He was suddenly the king of pop, surrounded by private jets, mansions, and gold records. But as we are about to see, this multi-million-dollar music machine was actually a desperate cover-up for a much older, much larger financial trap. While the world was dancing to his band's hits, Pearlman was running a classic Ponzi scheme. He targeted ordinary investors, retirees, friends, family members, and even local churches by offering them something called Employee Investment Savings Accounts, or EISA. He promised safe, consistent, and highly attractive returns ranging from 3% to 14%. To make the offer completely irresistible, Pearlman provided investors with official-looking documents, falsely claiming their money was fully insured by the FDIC, Lloyd's of London, and AIG. He even presented fake financial statements. Stamped by a fictitious accounting firm he created called Cohen and Siegel, and fabricated backing from a non-existent German bank. In reality, his flagship company, Transcontinental Airlines, was a total ghost. It claimed to own 49 aircraft and generate $78 million in revenue, but it had no planes, no employees, and no actual business operations. When an 85-year-old retiree like Bruno Balmanis invested $150,000 of his life savings, Lou did not invest it. He used it to pay off earlier investors to keep them quiet, while siphoning the rest to fund his lavish personal lifestyle, and his expensive music ventures. But then, the very pop stars who made him famous started asking questions. The first cracks in Lou's empire did not come from federal investigators, but from the stage. By 1997, the Backstreet Boys were an international phenomenon, generating tens of millions of. Yet between 1993 and 1997, the band members collectively received only $300,000, while Pearlman pocketed over $10 million. In 1998, the Backstreet Boys filed a lawsuit against Pearlman for severe underpayment and exploitation. Just a year later, NSYNC did the exact same thing. Justin Timberlake's mother, Lynn Harless, later observed that Pearlman did not just want to manage the bands. He desperately wanted to be the sixth member of the group, craving the spotlight as much as the money. To keep the cash flowing and replace his departing stars, Pearlman launched the reality television series Making the Band in 2000, creating the group O-Town. But the lawsuits had severely damaged his reputation, and the pool of new investors was rapidly shrinking. And that is when a prominent lawyer named Cheney Mason, who had previously represented Pearlman in his boy band lawsuits, realized he had also been lied. Mason sued Pearlman and contacted the FBI, triggering a chain reaction that would destroy Big Poppa's empire forever. By late 2006, the walls were closing in. Regulators and FBI investigators finally began digging into the financial records of transcontinental airlines. They quickly realized that the entire business was a complete fiction. In early 2007, Pearlman's companies were forced into involuntary bankruptcy. When federal agents raided his Windermere mansion, they found a house of cards. Even the expensive artwork hanging on his walls turned out to be counterfeit. But Lou Pearlman was nowhere to be found. He had fled the country using fake passports, leaving behind hundreds of ruined lives. For months, he evaded capture, but a massive man like Lou could not stay hidden forever. In June 2007, German tourists walking along a beach in Bali, Indonesia, spotted a familiar face. Lou was checked into a luxury resort under the incredibly bold alias of A. Incognito Johnson. The tourists alerted authorities, and the FBI swiftly apprehended him. The music had finally stopped. In March 2008, Lou Pearlman pleaded guilty to conspiracy, money laundering, and making false statements. 2 months later, he was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. The financial wreckage he left behind was staggering. Pearlman had defrauded banks and individual investors out of an estimated $300 million to $500 million. Out of all those stolen millions, only about $10 million was ever recovered. Over 1,000 to 2,100 victims, including ordinary families, retirees, and churches, lost their entire life savings and pensions. The human cost was tragic. Frankie Vasquez Jr., a longtime close friend, investor, and employee of Pearlman, was so devastated by the betrayal and the financial ruin of his family that he took his own life. On top of the financial devastation, Pearlman's legacy was further darkened by serious allegations of sexual misconduct from some of his former young artists, who described him as a predatory figure who used his power to exploit vulnerable teenagers. Lou Pearlman never lived to see freedom again. On August 19, 2016, at the age of 62, he died in federal custody from cardiac arrest. He died alone, leaving behind a legacy of stolen dreams, broken families, and exploited young talent. The upbeat, glossy pop music that defined the turn of the millennium was, in reality, funded by the stolen pensions of grandmothers and the stolen labor of teenagers. It stands as a chilling reminder of how easily we can be blinded by glamour, and how the most trusted father figure can sometimes be the most dangerous predators. If you want to uncover the dark truths behind the world's most shocking financial collapses and the masterminds who caused them, subscribe to the Collapse Files. In our next episode, we will look at an even bigger financial empire that vanished into thin air overnight, leaving investors with nothing but questions.